So as the consultation period rattles towards its conclusion, the Scarlets finally broke cover today and released a statement. It wasn't too much to dig into, to be totally honest. It was quite politically put across, nothing as fiery as what the Dragons did, but they did mention they had something they were calling an open book, which is on their website. If you are a Scarlets fan, you can go on and just give your thoughts on what the club means to you, etc., and what you think cutting the club will mean to you. And the quote that goes with this is, quote, "All contributions from the open book will be gathered, be compiled and forwarded to the WRU as part of the consultation, which continues until the 26th of September. So they're given a chance for normal fans to give their voices rather than just player boards and clubs and stuff like that. On the players' representatives, we saw that they came out and explained that they weren't really going to accept any of this at the moment. I mean, we expected nothing less. The players don't want their playing opportunities completely halved, which you can totally understand. The players are arguably the biggest shareholders because they're the ones who actually are the product on the pitch, and they're completely against this D plus model, whatever the union are calling it. So that was a real big blow to the union, but not so unexpected. And then just the more this is rumbled on, the more people are just coming out and saying, I don't like it, I don't not agree with it, and I don't see it moving forward. You're getting a lot of rumblings now that seeming like people think that it's not going to even happen. Gareth Davis, who was formerly on the board and formerly in Cardiff's board as well, said, quote, "There's no chance of it happening," which is really strong words from someone who's really ingrained, been on both sides, the club and the country. Myself personally, speaking to people, I haven't got many sources, but people I have spoken to who are a bit deeper in the media than I am, seem to think that this is just dead in the water. There's just too much backlash, and the union are not going to be able to push this through, which is kind of interesting because it seemed that they were just going to bulldoze their way through, but it seems like the backlash and pushback from everyone has been so strong that they're not going to be able to push through with this. Quotes by Dave Reddin then kind of back this up, that they're going to have to change course potentially. He did a massive quote, I'm not going to read it all because it goes on forever, but there was a couple of interesting bits he said, which I'm just going to pull out, just where the language is beginning to change, I think. So he said, quote, "We expected to be challenged, and although we have put forward the optimal system and explained our rationale in detail," maybe not so much in detail really, "for doing so, we also fully expect the consultation to influence our thinking," which they kind of have been parroting, but no one really believed it. But then he followed that up with, quote, "I don't want to get ahead of myself or take any shortcuts here, but I am confidently saying that our thinking is changing in positive ways." So what does that mean? Our thinking is changing in positive ways. How can you interpret that other than like a political answer of saying it looks like we're going to have to change direction on what we wanted to do? That's what I'm reading there. If you feel like I'm putting words in Dave Reddin's mouth there, please feel free to tell me in the comments. But to me, all this stuff that has come out, everyone is against it, as they naturally were going to be. I don't see the three head honchos of the WRU being able to push this through, and the board going, yeah, we're going to vote this through, when it's so universally disliked. Welsh rugby is constantly divided, but the three people at the top, they've done a really good job in unifying everyone on the same hymn sheet. So for me, the way I see it, D+ is not happening. We could still potentially see a team get cut. I still think that's within the remit and a different model looked at. I am getting the increasing feeling, and this is just my opinion, that we might just see the 4 regions survive at the 2+2. So 2 funded better and 2 funded less. That's just my opinion. I don't know, most people probably wouldn't agree with that. That is just the feeling I'm getting at the moment. I think they've had so much pushback. How are they going to decide who gets cut? I don't know how they're going to be able to. If they can't cut everyone, how can they just pick one specific team? Everyone has their own merits and everyone has their own weaknesses. If that is the case, then the campus idea is dead. The longer that's been mulled and thought about, the less I like it. I like the thought of having like elite facilities and elite coaches all together in one place. It's a great idea, but having all of the players in the same place just it just doesn't work for me. I don't really like that, and that's what a lot of the ex-pros are saying too. Don't get me wrong, reform still needs to be happened. They do need to completely still change all of the pathways and get that working. It's maybe still taking the academies out of the hands of the region. I don't know how they could work it. The women's pathways, that still needs to be improved. There needs to be more of a league or something underneath to feed Gwalia and Brython, or whatever they end up being in the future. But just from everything that has come out, there has not really been one outlet or one entity, one team, one like group of players or group of people that have really said, we support the union with this and we think this is the way forward. Everyone's gone, 2 teams that are brand new, I'm not interested, I want my region to survive. So see what you want, but whether that's the right thing or not, could still happen. This is all speculation, of course, on my part, but let me know what you think in the comments and I'll catch you on the next one.